Hi, Damon. How you doing? Let's go ahead and take a look. I see you've got your poster work up, and I we can fit that in the window. A lot of times, it's a really good idea to include a PDF of the work or a JPEG, even, so that we can take a look. I prefer PDFs because we can zoom out, zoom in to really take a closer look or to get an idea of of the what the poster looks like at a distance by zooming out. So preferably PDF, but it's really a good idea to include a JPEG or a PDF along with including the work in your body copy. And again, that's just in case I need to get in there and take a closer look at things. Okay, I think conceptually, we got some really interesting things here. I think the fact that you just don't have like this sun like beating down, you're just indicating the sun with a shape, and that's important. That's really powerful right there. You've used a simple shape to indicate global warming. That's visual shorthand, and that's an extremely valuable technique to graphic design. I was really glad of that's good, solid communication right there. Then if you've placed some sort of an illustration of the Earth, and that's where we're kind of straying from the project requirements. So right now, this is not indicative of what we're looking for the project. Conceptually, I think you're solid, you're sound. I think that everything I mentioned, up until now, I think is really valid. The reason we can't accept this as a viable option for this assignment is the fact that this is a placed illustration. Okay, it could even be a photograph. It's really difficult to tell, but nonetheless, it has been placed, meaning that this was created by someone other than you, meaning that this isn't a 100% original piece, meaning that there will likely be repercussions in the inclusion of this piece in your student portfolio. So imagine this scenario. Okay, you're sitting in front of somebody who wants to hire you for their company, right? And they're going through your work, and they come over and they see your poster, and they go, oh, and they ask you to describe the poster. And you say, well, this was for an illustration class. And the first thing I would think is, well, why are you placing something in a poster in an illustration class as opposed to illustrating it yourself? That's the first thing that would come to my mind. Then I would retort by asking this candidate for the job. I would say, is this an original image or is this a placed image? And if you say it's a placed image, it's going to kind of diminish your credibility as a designer because you're not using 100% original graphics. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know. I'll try to clarify that, but it's critically important in graphic design. You want to be as original as you can, as much of the time as possible. There are times when you'll have to use placed images, and that typically comes in the requirements and parameters of the assignment. This assignment, you want to keep everything original. Now, you can place an illustration of the Earth and use it as a template layer to draw. This has to be original, so you have to draw it using some of the techniques that we learned in the first 2 weeks of class. Specifically, if you jump over to week 1, presentation 2, creating shapes, these 2 videos here, the click and drag technique and this demonstration for the curve tool, they both show you how to establish an image or an illustration as a template layer that you can use to base your illustrations on. Take a look at those. That'll teach you how to do that. Moving forward, I think that it's a good concept. All we have to do from here, and I'll tell you what would be a really neat idea for you in illustrating this, is if you jump over to the course announcements. Gosh, not the course announcements. I think it is week 2. I have to find this, but I think it would be week 2. Is it? Oh, it's the power of shapes. But there's something in here that's specifically applicable to your work, and it's this space scene right here. And I even have a tutorial here. So if you click that link, it'll show you a tutorial on how to create this space scene. And you can do this yourself. I mean, this is almost what your poster looks like anyway, right? So you can go in here and learn how to illustrate the Earth and learn how to create this kind of background and learn how to create these gradated rings of color indicating the heat. And then all you would have to do is figure out how to make the Earth melt by creating it yourself as opposed to placing a pre-existing image. Okay, so that's the direction we're after. And remember, what we're after in this class through the entire duration of this term, we are after 100% originality. So remember to don't just place elements, just create elements. Okay. All right. Again, it's really super important, Damon. I know you submitted this Friday evening, and I was out of my studio on Saturday taking care of some business, which means it leaves you till Sunday. And this is Sunday, so we hopefully you're going to have some time to make some changes today, and that's why it's so important to post your work in a timely manner. So this was due Wednesday, so it's a great idea to get it in as close to Wednesday as possible. That way, I can get comments back to you, and then you have time to make those changes for Sunday's submission. Does that make sense? Okay. I think that's about all I have. So at this point, I'm sorry, I took a break. I was looking at the counter on my video here, and I'm realizing that something happened. So I think all is well. So we'll end it here. And I just want to reiterate, if you have any questions at all, or if I can provide any clarification of anything I've said in the last 6 minutes, please let me know. And I'll be glad to do so. All right. Thanks, Damon.